Okay, here we go. Morning. Let's see here. This is tonight. It is okay. I guess I'm just gonna have to go with this. Yet waiting. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Carla.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, I am great. It's good to hear from you.
Hey, yes. Hey, it's Sunday, and you know how church folk is. You got to count the money, get dinner, and sit down.
I sure did. I I did most of it except counting the money. I had to give some money at church.
Oh Lord, I know it. I know it. I was trying to. I didn't want to make nobody dizzy moving around.
Okay.
Yeah, good to be here. Thanks. Everybody doing all right out there?
Yeah, it's sort of crazy what's happening in the world, and
Oh, oh yeah.
we all have to stay focused and uh,
So true. So true.
do things that accept the things we can't change, and that's serenity, and have the courage to change the things that we can,
All
and
right.
and the wisdom to know the difference.
All right. That's
That's
it.
that's the serenity prayer, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just a
That's
matter of like out here, just let's see, just a couple of days ago, there was a protest in National City. The
Uh-huh.
Hispanics were protesting.
Oh yeah.
And today, they're protesting up in Los Angeles and they're closing the 101 freeway.
Uh-huh.
So,
Somebody has just come in.
so what happens is people can only be pushed so far.
Eh, That's right. I don't think anybody wants to go back.
No,
Mm-mm. It's about going forward in the name of the Lord.
that's so true. And makes it so bad is that, some of these policies, they're hurting themselves. They're hurting their own people.
That's right. You said it. That's right. You can't hurt one dig what they say about digging a ditch. You might as well dig two because the other one is for you.
Oh, that's a Southern saying. I got to remember that.
Yeah. When you dig a ditch for somebody, you gonna fall in too.
We're, it's one thing that we do have a history as a people
Yeah.
and of the struggle, uh, and we if you don't change, the past will repeat itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And at least know the past. A lot of the young people really don't know the past. And we're old enough that we experienced some of the riding on the back of the bus or segregated food places and living places.
Oh, of course. I was right after where I lived. Sure, it was. It, I was in North. I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, and
Oh,
so
okay, okay.
we did have separation. We
Yes.
had all the things that Caucasians had because we
Uh-huh.
had our own community. We had like a little like that Tulsa, Tulsa
Yeah.
had their own community.
Right. Little Rock had theirs too, Ninth Street in Little Rock.
And people worked. 'Cause my
That's
family,
right.
they worked in the packing houses,
Uh-huh.
so they had jobs. They had churches. They had a nuclear family. So we weren't,
Right.
but we definitely wanted to have representation. That's where the challenge came in. We wanted
Yeah.
to
You had a community. You had a community.
and now as we look back, I'm sure you can see it, and Denise can see it. Look at all the monuments of our people who have been
Yeah.
recognized for their accomplishments.
Yes. 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 Mm-hmm.
So that's why my motive is to reconstruct our family. My story is my uncle was the family historian,
Yeah.
and about 20, 30 years ago, there was a reunion on my mother's side, grandmother's side,
Mm-hmm.
California. And he asked me, could I go because he wasn't able to attend. It was with the Burnells. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
that's Uncle Hubert. And when I went, I represented the family. I learned so much about that our family
Yeah.
and the people, the genes and everything. They look just like my grandmother.
I know that is a good thing.
And they bring you in and take care of you and show you love. They showed me love and
Hmm.
they were glad to see me. And I was just, it was like cousins, like cousins are your your first best friends.
Yeah, that's true.
Your cousins.
Hmm.
They're the first kids' houses that you can go over to. You can spend the night. You could,
Hmm.
you know, our parents trusted us.
That's true.
So, and now here it is, Carla and Denise, this many generations apart. Now I'm able to meet my cousins now. New DNA cousins. They my
Yeah.
cousins.
Because
So
it
that,
don't lie.
no, it don't lie. And I
DNA don't lie.
have so much joy with that.
Yeah,
And so in the process, it's been great helping other people find their families through DNA and
that's right.
learning what I could, what I could and teach
Yeah,
others and getting as much information as I can so
right.
I can help others and also um, build my family tree, right? Fulfill my family's history.
Mm-hmm. That
So
is true. Mm-hmm.
and that's that's worth anything. That's worth any kind of money. Like we haven't. We're seeking reparations here in California,
Yes, yes, yes.
but you can't pay me what it means to talk to you and talk to
Yeah,
some of my other, uh, you know, DNA cousins. It's invaluable.
yeah. And like-minded people that
Yeah.
understand where you're coming from and trying to close up some of those gaps and break down those brick walls.
And we have a number of tools. And
Mm-hmm.
that being said, Denise she's been working with Wikitree. Are you,
Okay.
are you familiar
I'm
with that
just starting.
platform?
Uh-huh.
Oh wow, she's uh, she's really involved, and she's in a leadership position, and she's sharing some of the program with us and how it helped her, with her research, and she's reaching out
Wow.
and helping us, giving us a platform, teaching us some of the tools that she's learned.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's valuable.
That's valuable, and it's
Mm-hmm.
and it's and it's free.
There you go.
Man, do you
That's
see
right.
how these other platforms are trying to jack us up out of, for this and for that? They're trying to jack us up. The
Yes.
Ancestry and all these other platforms that we are, that we became members of.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's right.
and so that's why I use my platform while I'm able to afford it to
Good.
share, with some of my uh, relatives and
Uh,
friends.
yeah. And your findings.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, like that Pro Tools, it has a lot of, that you can compare 2 and 3 people to,
Mm-hmm.
and and that
I've
helps.
heard Yeah, I've heard people saying that when they did that, actually the young lady on what is that? Genealogy Adventures, South Carolina, Edgefield. Um, uh, she said when she did the Pro Tools, it was worth it. It unlocked a lot of things for her, I guess, with other people um, getting in it.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, it triangulates.
Yeah. Wow.
It compares. I can give you some examples of it, at some point.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
So,
Because I haven't done it yet.
okay, well, we'll get a chance to show you. So, Denise, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Good.
You're gonna hear my little dog barking in the background. He's in his mood right now.
Well,
I,
I
I
have
like it.
one. I have one too. It's
I
good
don't
to
know
hear.
what he's barking at. There's nobody outside. He just, I don't know, gets the feeling.
That's those dog ears.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Out of all when I come home, out of all, I hear him. I don't hear anybody else. Hey,
Oh,
hi, Papa.
that's
Hi, Dad. Hi,
yeah.
dog. I hear him.
They love you when don't nobody else love you.
Yeah.
So
So,
Denise, where are you?
I'm just outside Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, very good. I've got some ancestry uh somewhere over there. You know where Urbana
Oh, yes.
is? Okay. Well, my Guy family, I'm trying to see where Virginia is what
Mm-hmm.
was on the one that was born in 1805.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was from uh Virginia over to Ohio, and then just learning the maps and how Virginia actually went all the way across the country.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a learning experience. But yeah, my guys, Guy and Davis
Ah,
from
yeah, Davis.
Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a
Yep.
lot of Davises.
What do
That's
you
a
mean by it, that they went all across the country?
What was that?
What did you mean by when you said that?
Well, when the states start forming, and I learned that in another talk, all the states had not grown like with the 13 colonies, and
Mm-hmm.
Virginia, and when it was growing, where Virginia had a whole lot of territory,
Mm-hmm.
and then it started breaking off into states as it grew.
Okay.
Yeah, so it just depends on the time period that you're looking for somebody. But mine, I was just looking uh in Ohio, and I can go back to 1850. Because they always tell us it's a cap, 1870, because beyond there are no names, but people kept records, and we just have to
Mm-hmm.
know how to look. So on his 1850, it said that he was born in Virginia. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, okay. So now I got to study about the early parts of Virginia. And that was during the what is that? Revolutionary War and Indian Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then yeah, and how people exodus, how they migrated.
And
And
Yeah. They,
and they took their slaves with them.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, of course.
who was going to do the work?
And wait a minute, and the Indians, they fed them.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
they had to take the people to help them survive. Because if you look at Europe, it's cold. You can't grow a lot of things, and they were introduced when they came over here, from Europe to the colonies, and the natives were already here. They were introduced to foods they had never seen before, and especially the corn, the climates. They could grow things different over here. So guess what? They saved them, and then they annihilated them. The natives,
They couldn't. They
the new people.
We were too strong for that, but they tried their best.
Yes, 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 Jerry, they did.
And now look at where we're at. You know, we're
Mm-hmm.
we're the ultimate survivors.
Yes.
Now I was looking at, I'm looking at some of the history, Harriet Tubman, the
Yeah.
abolitionists, John Brown, and all them. And like I had mentioned on my greetings, like it's easier to build strong children than repair broken men.
All right. Yeah.
That was from Frederick Douglass,
Mm-hmm.
one of the nation's greatest abolitionists.
Uh-huh.
So we have to really focus on our children now.
That's what the Bible says. Train up a child.
And we what I see, I'm saying that within my own domain,
That's right.
we get those kids ready to go to school and go out and get this degree and get this job and everything. But the basics is like the Ten Commandments. The basics of how you respect each other. How we have to teach them how about our history because they don't
Mm-hmm.
get it in school.
Uh-uh. That's the last place they're gonna get it.
And I find myself teaching my great granddaughter, she's 7 years old, about
Mm-hmm.
the family lineage.
Yes.
So where my wife and I are in this lineage, and
Mm-hmm.
the heirs, my son and daughter,
Yeah.
a grandson, and his and his lady, and then um, and then her.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? They understand. Those kids understand
Oh, yes, they do.
when you teach them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's what it
That's
is.
true.
And so that's what we're doing with this format. You know,
Yeah, that's
my
good.
goal is to reconstruct families and cousins and have our fun, but like use this tool to help each other uh, fill in some of those brick walls, and also, it's therapeutic. It gives me a purpose, and I look at all kinds of formats. I'm a part of a number of different formats, and that's how I learn. So here we are. Hello, Deborah. Can you hear us?
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How's everyone?
Well, I am great. I can speak for myself. I'm great because I'm great to be alive and great to be here in this format, and that you all are participating.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. In one aspect, is happy that I'm happy to be able to contribute to the new year, but on another one, it's like, okay, we have to see. I have to see how I what with my resources, how I can continue to help others, and so that's what I'm focusing on without uh, 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 wasting time, but creating opportunities with the resources that I have. So let's have a brief introduction with the individuals who are here, and then we'll go right into the meeting agenda. And first of all, I'll start with myself. Now, my name is Jerry Brent Moss Sr. I was born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska, and I was was in, very active in. We had a nuclear family, a packing house family that migrated from the south to the north, and our families were in the packing industry, packing house workers, and uh, we were porters. My father was a porter also, and so the history about the porters. So he was part of that, and some of my great uncles were porters, uh, Pullman porters, and that opened up a lot of opportunities economically, and it also it allowed us to explore new frontiers and settle in some different locations where we could build a family, build a destiny, build a foundation for our family. And so after my career is in civil engineering and design, drafting. Uh, I, I do, I've done land development, drawn a many number of projects, whether it's water treatment plants, sewer treatment plants, land development, major residential areas, land turning mountains and rural land into communities. I was a part of those engineering teams. for doing design and drafting. And I started off with my hands, and then I ended up doing it with the computers. And then as I got older, uh, being in that the corporate world, when it came time for the like the first hired, last fired scenario, I I gravitated. I always had a business. If I could do something for them, I can do it for myself. That was my model. And so I would always have my own computer. I would always have contacts. And what I eventually did is start um, uh, building alliances with Black engineers, Black professionals, Black contractors. And so that's where, in my later years, and even today, we have um, businesses together that I'm a part of. And
Good.
so that it was a cycle. Started off with us, went to them, and then we're back. You know, because we had, we had to learn communications. We had to go down to the different public agencies and ask. Our our family had we paid taxes. We paid taxes, so we wanted representations. Taxes without representations. So we had to go to these city halls and these different counties and say, hey, there's a certain amount of money for these contractors and engineers. We want a piece of it. We want a percentage of it. And so some people went there with a hammer, but we went, some of my tactic was to go in with positive persuasion and with the gift of God, that with faith and a purpose and a plan, and eventually there was enough, there was enough, and they started breaking off some of these jobs and some of these contracts, for us. So that's my background, and I've been out in California for like about 45 years,
Okay.
and so uh, that's where I'm at. And from Nebraska to here, I call this heaven on earth. And so it's tough to get me to get up and go anywhere else. And I'm in San Diego. California is California, but I am in San Diego, California.
Okay.
So there's a difference. What you see in back of me, I can just, it's right outside.
Wow.
I'm just saying, that, you know, I'm, I'm just being real. I'm being truthful with you. There is, there are rewards for hard work.
Hmm.
Deborah, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, sorry, I'm multitasking. My name is Deborah Maddox. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. My microphone works. It has its own mind, seems like. Uh, my name is Deborah Maddox. I reside in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
Um, I am the oldest of two siblings. My family migrated from Union Point, Georgia, and Woodville, Georgia. Um, my Maddox is my surname. Saggis is my mother's surname, and also Battles out of Saggis and Battle out of Union Point, Georgia. Those are the
Wow.
areas that I'm researching, along with Sweeney, and then Maddox from Glenwood, Alabama.
Hmm. We have all those in Arkansas.
Really?
Maddox. Mm-hmm. I'm friends with a Dr. Maddox, where her husband, I think her husband is well, that may be her maiden name. I'll have to find out.
Okay.
Yeah, Maddox and the battles.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a large population of battles, and then I met one of the young ladies that migrated from Arkansas to Georgia. So now she's there, but she's she's married. So uh Yeah, I might be able to help you make some connections with some of
Okay,
those names.
I would
Sure.
love that. Thank you.
Hmm.
I really struggle with, even though they're unique names, I struggle with finding finding matches on Ancestry. I'm on Ancestry,
Right.
23andMe, MyHeritage, and then of course GEDmatch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe they haven't done them. Maybe they haven't done their DNA.
Well, I've tested initially with Ancestry
Hmm.
around 2016, somewhere in there, maybe.
Hmm.
And I've always had a 5 Maddox matches. So if I wasn't confident in knowing that my dad is my dad,
Right, right.
I would question that. And two
Well,
of those Maddox matches are matching my mother, so they're married into the family. They're not even true
hmm.
Maddox.
So have you done any of the male Maddox? That's what you need to do if you're going to follow your father's line.
Yeah, well, okay, so the Maddoxers are and the Brundages are tight-lipped. I'll just put it that way.
Hmm.
And so it's been very difficult to get any information from anyone on
What about a brother? Have a matter, have your brother tested?
Excuse me, Carla.
Go ahead.
Deborah, what did you say that they are what? What are those words?
tight, tight-lipped.
Tight lip. They
Okay.
won't talk, Jerry.
Yes, they won't talk and they won't take tests.
Oh,
They don't want anything to do with it.
Let me wipe out my ears. Thank you. So continue.
It just makes my journey even more difficult, but I'm determined.
yeah. So, Jerry, don't you agree that if she's going to follow her father's, that male, she's got to have some or male cousin or somebody on that Maddox side to test?
Well, here's my take on that. God has provided everything that we need,
Mm-hmm.
and your acres or diamonds are right where you are. And I mean that to say,
Okay.
is if you don't have another person, if you don't find another test from another person on your father's side, there's a number of people on your father's side that are already tested.
Hmm. And they could be in another name,
They can be under another name,
another
but
surname.
they're under another surname.
Okay.
They're not under another DNA. They they
Right.
they are your DNA relatives that are on your father's side
That's
and
true.
mother's side.
That's true.
Now, that being said, now that's where we have to do our work. That's where we have to present ourselves and the information that we have. And like you said, Cousin Carl, to like-minded individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And then they will work with you
Mm-hmm.
to help you build your tree,
Tree. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which with verifiable DNA information.
Mm-hmm. Now, didn't she say that her mother, some Maddox tested with her mother
No, I was saying that there are two Maddox matches that are married.
into the family?
Yeah, they're married into the family, and so, but they have they have the Maddox last name.
Okay.
Um,
Huh.
and so I've tried to reach out to the 5 matches that I have,
Uh-huh.
and one just over the years just refuses. I'm not gonna, you know,
Family secrets.
Badger. Yeah. And that's what it boils down to.
Yeah,
I'm not the only one,
I
Maddox,
know it.
who struggles with
Yes,
building our tree. There's
yes.
a couple of us, and I'm in touch with a few on Clubhouse and so forth, and we all agree that the Maddox family is just difficult to trace.
Okay.
Well, there's so
Not just
many. There's so many that. There's so many uh, that are there though. You know, I look at it like it's an ocean, and I go fishing. I'm a fisherman. I like to fish,
Hmm.
and so
I
I
love
have
to fish.
I have a reach out bait message that I throw out into that ocean. But I tell a lot about myself first. I put that's the bait, and then I put it out into these DNA matches that come up every 3 or 4 days. You see these pictures. You know they're your relatives.
Yeah.
You see, and so then I give them that reach out text message, and then they respond, or they might contact their mother, or they might contact the aunt. They'll contact that genealogist because I
Hmm.
know I'm related to them. You see, and
Well, then,
that's the method that I use
well,
to.
Yeah.
there's the issue, cousin Jerry. As I mentioned, I tested 2016, and I had the same Maddox matches. I haven't had any more.
Okay. Hmm.
So,
Any
uh,
more surnames though? That's what you got to look at. All the surnames that match the Maddox. They even though because
yeah,
this is
Maddox, Brundage, they both my Maddox is my dad, and Brundage is my dad's mother, and it's the same thing.
gotcha.
Hmm.
How you spell Brundage?
It's okay. So there's 16 different spellings for
No.
Brundage. But my Brundage is spelled Brundidige, and there's a Brundage, Alabama as well.
Okay. All right.
Well, that see, and that's why we're on this format. And Carla, look how you jumped on it. And
I'm
Deborah,
sorry. I'm sorry.
no, no, this is what the format is for. See,
Okay.
and this is what I want to share with Deborah on this platform. I know on the platform that I have, we have individuals who are are anxious to help,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's happening now. And see, that's the fruit of our labors, and that's good. So I like that coalition. So I hope that you share numbers and be able to talk and do some research. Personal
Yeah.
research. That's what this
Yeah.
format is for.
Well, it's just amazing. I mean, she brought up the name Maddox and in battle, and I haven't heard Brundage. I'm gonna have to see if any of those, but there was a large migration of people from Alabama that ended up in the southern part of Arkansas, around El Dorado, Union County, Arkansas, and um, because my husband's great grandmother was a sledge, and they all migrated from Alabama.
Hmm. I,
So I'm thinking they were probably headed to Texas.
yeah, I did hear that there was a lot that went to Texas,
Oh,
along with from Maryland. But
okay.
thank you for that. And
Hmm.
Denise, I see your information in the chat. Is your husband a Maddox?
No, but his aunt, I call them my in-laws,
Yeah.
basically, but his aunt married a Maddox, and I
See?
sent you the link to his husband, her husband.
Wow.
They are both now deceased, but um, I have them out there on Wikitree. And
Oh,
right now I've got him with several of his siblings. Only two are going to be visible to you because the other two are listed as private.
private.
But
Hmm.
but if we look at the ancestors, then it goes back even further. I think I've got
Yeah.
like 5 generations, or yeah, 4 generations going back on the Maddox side.
Wow.
So it goes back, and I think you mentioned that they hailed from Georgia.
From Alabama.
Oh, Alabama. Well, Georgia, Alabama,
Right,
it's
right.
all in
Yeah,
they all migrated and stopped somewhere
that's
on the
right.
train.
That's right, Denise.
But that may still, lead you to find some other people, hopefully,
Yes.
or at
Yes.
least give you some other avenues to look at.
Mhm.
Um,
Wonderful.
yeah, and it just so happens because you're in Cincinnati, see, this Maddox lived in Cleveland.
I see that. Yeah. Hmm.
So you still have that Ohio connection as well. A lot
Yes.
of them stayed in the South, in Georgia, but still, some migrated to the North, and this one, Edward, um, actually migrated to Cleveland.
Isn't that something?
And so
Yeah,
it's
and
it's it's really interesting because my dad's one of my well, two of my dad's sisters, they lived in Cleveland
Wow.
okay,
and they have children in
See?
Cleveland.
yeah,
So
yeah. So don't know if they knew each other or not, but
that's
at
right.
least that's a start. That someplace you can start and see because there's I see a Forrest Maddox, a Theodore Maddox,
Hmm.
and then their father was Richard, and Richard's father was Duncan Maddox. So you know,
You see how her search has broadened already?
Yes. Thank you
Wow.
all. I appreciate that.
Wow. You're gonna make me turn on my big computer. I'm sitting up here fumbling with my cell phone on Zoom. But
yeah,
Oh no,
uh
you got to step it up here. We're in the big leagues now.
I see.
We're in the
I'm
big
I'm
leagues now.
I'm enjoying y'all. I'm telling you.
Oh no,
I,
we haven't even started sharing the screen.
ain't that the truth?
We're
Well,
doing the intros.
okay.
Miss Claire, I want Carla, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I need to tell you that your hair is beautiful.
Oh,
And
I do earrings. I don't do hair. Look, I just this was easy this morning because I'm always late for church. Y'all pray for me.
but one thing I have noticed in my family,
Yeah,
we premature gray early. My
yeah,
hair is actually silver white, and I'm
yeah,
60. I mean, the salt and pepper has left. There's a little pepper in the back,
yeah.
and then we have moles. We have a lot of moles. Moles and gray run in my family line. So when I see those two things, I
Yes,
usually, wonder, I wonder if they're related to me. So I
those
ask,
traits.
yes,
Yeah, those
exactly.
traits.
Hmm.
I'm looking at Jerry's head. What you call that? Platinum or salt and pepper?
Yeah, that's a crown. That's a crown. That's what it
Wisdom.
is.
Wisdom. That's right,
Yes,
wisdom.
wisdom.
Wisdom. I'm
Crown.
a
That's my gray hair and my grandkids. That's a gift from God.
yes.
Yeah, that's a crown.
If I log off, that's just because I'm gonna get on my that way I can see the chat and stuff. Usually I can see the chat, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna log off and I'm gonna come back on Deborah and Denise. I'll be
okay,
right back. Be right back, Jerry.
Okay, thank
okay.
you. Uh, okay, Deborah, is there anything else you want to add to your intro?
No, that's it. I appreciate the help already. I'm enjoying it.
Okay, let's go to she's a regular participant. Uh, Clarice, how are you? Clarice,
Hello,
hello.
can you hear me? Hi.
Yes, we can. Yeah,
Okay.
we're having our introductions, and we just would love to hear you introduce yourself to the participants, and so we can get an idea of who you are and what your goals are and purpose of being on the meeting, and like if there's anything that we can help you with. Could you tell us about yourself, Clarice?
Hey, I'm 74 years old. I live in Sacramento, California. I was born in Martinez, California. I think at the age of 2, moved to Fresno, lived there until I was about 12, 13, then moved to the Bay Area, uh, East Palo Alto, Menlo Park. and I've been here since. I did go work in Baltimore for a year, but I didn't know. I had did some ancestor through this summer program, and I learned just learned some things just fumbling around. And I didn't know my father's parents. He left home when he was 13, and his father was alive. Actually, his mother had died, and his father was alive, but he never talked about his family. And since getting connected with this group and with Jerry's help and just listening to other people, we discovered some of my father's people. Well, I found out he had a brother that actually lived in Fresno, and he died in 91. So if had known this information, we would have been able to do some tracing back to him. But the people that Jerry connected me with was my father's mother's second husband children, and I'm yet to find some of my father's. There was several groups of children. I'm not quite sure how that all goes because some of them took on my father's name was Collins. So some of them took on the Collins name, but then there were children that were before. But I know just time wise, I just haven't really pursued it, but I will get to some of those individuals as Jerry and I was helping me with my DNA kit and stuff. Couldn't find out that one brother had a son that died in Vietnam in the Vietnam War over in Vietnam. So just getting little bits and bits of pieces. But my goal is to try to connect with the Collins, the brothers that supposedly they have the same father by Oliver Collins. So that's going to take a little bit more because it gives me hints and things, but I just haven't really been pursuing it, trying to deal with other personal issues and things. So, but that's my goal is to more or less to Collins. Now, my mother, um, the Browns. Now we know my mother's family all the way back to 1800s, so they've done a lot of research on that. What there was one thing that was kind of a mystery is that my mother's father, supposedly his mother is German and his father is black. And when we did the DNA kit, there is a 2% German on my father's side. I mean, excuse me, on my mother's side. So I said, okay. One of my uncles actually met some of those other children. So what it was is those that came out looking white or enough to pass that way went with the mother and other children went with the father. So that will be another area on my mother's side that I'm going to pursue, finding that out. And what I do mostly now is just getting familiarized with all the terminology. I've got notes of different ones in there. Find the grave and WikiLink, if I'm saying it right. So I'm excited about going forth and getting more into it. But I'm kind of getting things settled now into this new year with my insurance got all messed up. So as things settle down a little bit, that's how I'm going to spend my time because I'll be rehabbing for quite a while. I've got a hip replacement, a knee replacement to be done, and just got over one knee replacement. So I'll be convalescing quite a bit. And that's what I intend to do. And I just love this coming on here, listening to other people finding, and I like the way you all share your information. Someone's talking about somebody else, and then somebody will pick up and say, well, why don't you try this? So I really enjoy that much. Another group that I'm with has nothing to do with the DNA per se, but we always talk about, and I said, well, you know what? I'm in a group where caring is sharing, because a lot of times um, Afro Americans or whatever we want to call blacks, we've always been kind of pitted against one another. I don't want nobody to know this. I don't want nobody to get ahead of me. And we have to learn how to share and not be so threatened by somebody else gaining something. So that's what I enjoy so much about this show. You all are experts in your own areas, but yet somebody else can show even an expert something that the expert didn't know. And then this person showed this other expert something that they've discovered. So that's been a real treasure for me.
Thank you, Clarice. And on that topic, tell, tell them how we met.
Oh, yes. I met Jerry through, I'm in a group, Hooked on Fishing, Not on Violence in Sacramento with DJ One Goat and double R, Reggie Romain, we call him double R. He's on the show and he mentioned about the genealogy. You know, he's a Mr. Reparation man. And we know this is all part of the reparations, finding out where you know, identifying yourself as being a descendant of the slave, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how I got introduced to this show through Reggie. And yeah, and I've been loving it ever since. And like I said, Jerry's, and I always say this, and you're just kind of looking at me like, oh yeah. No, he really is such an humble man. Everybody that meets him just casually know he's a very humble man, very willing to help one another and to see for the cause. And at first I was a little skeptical because I was like, what's he getting out of this? What's the purpose of this? Because you don't run across that kind of people all the time. And then now I see it's just for the joy of not only he helped himself and others have helped him, but he enjoys seeing other people reach those goals. And that's a very rare quality. And we are blessed to be a part of
Thank
what
you,
Jerry's doing.
Clarice. Some kind words. Those are some kind words, and I appreciate them. And I just want to add on to that is she's like she's one of the leaders in the Black community here in California on reparations in California. She's politically connected and uh, an activist. And my connection to the reparations in California is it's the DNA component, but hers, they get out there and get out. Oh, they do get out with these folks out here. You know, we in a battle, and she's one of the leaders of the California reparations uh, journey here in California. I just want to give her let you know for sure that's her role. And I have helped her and I am helping her. I gave her a kit. I worked with her and started helping her build from day one. And we've just been able to build a bond together. And that's my component is the genealogy component. And she's dealt with the political, but I have to know the political to know where this genealogy is going to fit in, you know, and whether we get quote unquote reparations from them, we've gotten each other, and that's invaluable. The what we're building together. So whenever it comes, we're building the foundation now, and that's the most important thing. We're building a solid foundation. That's where it has to start. Go ahead, Clarice.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment off of what you just said, because that's one of the key things that we say. We are our best healers. We will heal ourselves. We have several healing circles. Yeah, we're working toward the reparation. We're working to find out what we are. We have people that send us all these inventions that were done by Black people that we don't know. But the main thing is that we are our best medicine. We are our own medicine. And just what you're doing is what we advocate, Jerry, is that, yeah, we want to try to get, maybe I won't get in my lifetime, maybe my grandchildren's children. But the point is that in this process, and even with this current administration, it's like, y'all, let's don't trip because they do none of this for us directly. This is the time for us to go back to the basics, start taking care of ourselves, start building a community, building our neighborhoods, start reaching out, teaching our children, getting them prepared because the handout is over and they're trying to cut more and more and more. But the thing is, in the time of adversity is when we can make our greatest gain if we don't faint and we stay focused on what we're doing. So we're all about, yes, we want reparation. Yes, we want to identify who we are, but we are our own medicine. God gave us the ability and everything that we need to take care of ourselves. We got to go back to the earth, back to the ground, start rebuilding, start planning, start getting our own banks, start getting our own unions, start small and building upon that. So when something do come through, we not having a bunch of cutthroat killing each other, and we know the opposition is going to be slipping in, folks. You know, they do it. If you ever been in a company where they started to get a union going, they're gonna have
Uh-huh.
union busters come in there. So
Mm-hmm.
we're aware of that stuff. And I'm not all that political, but I've gotten a lot more political. And the greatest thing you can do is be aware
That's
of
right.
what's going on because they're going to create diversions. They create all these bills, and somewhere tucked down in that bill, they got something that don't even apply to you, but it gets slide through the bill. So we have people that are dedicated to that, voted to that, and the rest of us has to just be aware that this is what's going on and to stay focused on what we're trying to accomplish. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
Thank you, Clarice. Any
Yeah.
questions? Any questions to her?
Oh, where's Clarice? Where's Clarice? Clarice, where are you from? I'm Carla from Little Rock, Arkansas.
I'm from I was born and raised in California.
Okay. And that's where you are now.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I may have to jump off.
Okay. Uh, Denise, intro, please. Denise.
Yeah, intro. That's interesting. Okay. I Denise Jarrett, that is my married name.
Okay.
Maiden name is Harden, Harden.
Hmm.
Um, both my parents are from the South. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, as a result of migration, basically. My dad was born in Arkansas, right outside Little Rock, a place called Woodson. Carla, you may have heard of Woodson, Arkansas.
Denise, you are
Yes.
kidding. You have a relative right up the street from me. Her name is girl the Hardiman. The Hardman, we call him Hardiman. But yeah,
Okay.
that's where her dad was from. Woodson Hensley.
Woodson, Arkansas. Yeah,
Yeah.
my grandfather apparently used to own a car wash right there in Little Rock, and I've been trying to get over there to Little Rock to find it and to at least find a location. It's been over 50 years now. So,
If you give me an address, I'll go by, take a picture, and send it to you.
well, I will look it up. I'm sure it's probably not a car wash now. It's been
What's
so long, but
what was the name of it?
I, I'll have to go look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
information that my dad gave me before he passed. His father died when he was only 5 years old.
Okay.
So that's how I got into genealogy. Once my dad saw um, Alex Haley roots, he,
Same here.
he went
Same.
on the search for his father's people
Oh,
because since
goodness.
his father passed away when he was so young, he was only about 5. He didn't know any of his daddy's people. So
Right.
and he was a truck driver and he rode coast to coast. He hauled steel. So he was able to make stops in various places.
Right.
Um, his mother and father were both born in Caddo, Louisiana, Caddo Parish,
Okay.
Louisiana.
Uh-huh.
So
And that's the
Hardin,
Hardin.
uh-huh. And my grandmother was a hunter. Um, and they eventually migrated from Louisiana to Arkansas.
Okay, let's
And
see.
so that's where my dad and his most of his siblings were born there. One sister was born in Caddo Parish before they
So the
moved.
Hardin is on that side, it is uh your dad's name was what?
Walter
Walter Hardin.
Hardin. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
So
then
he
his
he
dad was who?
Walter Hardin.
So you got, it's two Walters.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you heard the name George Hardin? George Hardin.
George, I've heard the name. My great grandfather's name was Jordan Hardin. So there could be some Georges in there. Like I said, since his father passed away so young, it's been a challenge trying to trace my father's family tree further back than 1870. I've gotten as far back as 1870, and I'm still trying to go further back than that. But
Okay.
it's a challenge.
Well,
You
George
know,
lives in Sweet Home, and that is uh
Alabama,
no, Arkansas. George Hardin.
Arkansas. Okay.
Yeah, he lives in Sweet Home, Arkansas, but that's right under Little Rock.
Okay.
Yeah, it's south of Little Rock, and then you go on to Wrightsville and Woodson.
Okay.
So that's on the path. That's Old Pine Bluff Highway 365.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. I'll have to I every other year on even numbered years, we just had one last year. We have a family reunion down in Caddo Parish.
Okay.
And so of course that's where my connection is to that. There's no Hardins in that area any longer because they, like I said, they left there and migrated to both Texas and Arkansas. But you know, I still go there for the family reunions every year.
Sure.
With the history that I do on all of those lines, I actually produce a book
Okay.
to share with them at the family reunions and things of that nature. So that's been pretty exciting. I've been
Yeah.
documenting that since 1988 when my dad would come back so excited. He'd have pictures and you know, I done found my daddy's people, he'd say. You know, so I started writing it down because it got to be too much. And
Yeah.
yeah, so since then I've sort of been the family historian. Now,
Okay.
my mother's side came out of Alabama. They're Winstons,
W.
Winston, and they're out of Alabama,
Okay.
Flint County, Alabama. Some of them are also in Colbert County, Alabama. So we do a lot of research there as well. My father's side, I know, has African roots. My
Uh-huh.
mother's side has Dutch roots.
Okay.
So just researching that has been interesting as well. But there's more people on my mother's side doing research going further back than,
Yeah.
of course, on my father's side. I'm really the only one on my father's side um, doing this kind of research. So, but that's pretty much it. I spent a lot of time as a child in Alabama.
Uh-huh.
So actually, I'm more comfortable in the South than I am in the North. I live here, but I regret it every winter.
So you are okay. You are in
I'm in a
Cleveland.
town. I'm in Pickerington, Ohio, but I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. I'll say born and raised, but I spent every summer down in Alabama. So my being raised, I was raised both in the North and in the South. I'd go down south and they'd call me a city girl. I come up north and everybody would ask me if I'm from Georgia
Uh-huh.
because I'd still have a Southern twang. So,
Yes.
uh,
Yeah. And in the
but
South, we called we had, like what do we call them? Cold drinks. And I think
yeah,
in up north, like from Missouri on, it was sodas.
uh-huh.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. They do that in New York too. They call them sodas, but then we call them pop. We called it
Pops.
pop in Ohio. Yeah.
Soda pop.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah.
Agree.
So yeah, that's how I got into what I do today. I'm now retired.
Okay.
Um, kind of like Jerry. I wasn't an engineer, but I've done a little bit of everything. I've had several different careers. I started out in accounting, and then from there I migrated to computer science. Spent a little time in human resources in the corporate world, and also did development and training in the corporate world. So I've done a little bit of everything. Um, yeah, so that helps with my researching and when I need to do public speaking, I've done a little bit of that as well. At one time, I was a former member of we used to call it ITC, International Training in Communications. Now it's Toastmasters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all scare me.
No, no need to be scared. No need to be scared. Just get up there and do your thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yep, yep. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Jerry's trying to show me something. Is that an award? You're too close. Hey, I see a Toastmaster
He got
emblem
a
there.
T.
Yeah, that's a Toastmaster award that he received. You'll have to read it off because I can't see. You're
You're
muted.
mute.
You're muted. Yeah.
It says Jerry Moss Sr., Most Improved Toastmaster, 1985, the Hard Hats Club.
Okay. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I was actually a regional contestant one time in San Antonio and missed it by about
Whoa.
missed it by about 5 points. So I didn't get to compete at national, but I came very, very close.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Just right.
Say, is everybody having a good time?
Yeah, we're ready for you to start whenever.
No, I'm just saying, are we having a good time? We go down here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we're having a good time. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Before you, Carla, we have a new person that just came in. Brown. Is that Shirley Brown?
Yes,
Hi, Shirley. How are you?
bless you.
Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored also. Could you give us a brief introduction of yourself, who you are and where you live, what your purpose is on Ancestry, and what's your interest in joining the meeting?
Oh, well, I'm connected to the Payton. I was born and raised in Arkansas, and I guess the Moss, Jerry Moss, he had contacted me, and the Mosses. I know most of the mosses on my tree, know of them, and a lot of them I do know because grew up around them. But I don't know the connection that I have with him. Or I guess it's your son, maybe. Is it? I'm not sure.
No, it's me.
Oh, well, you that I. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure because the ones I know were in Arkansas. I don't know. Some came from Louisiana, but I'm not sure. I'm just curious.
Well, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, this is my first. I don't know exactly your group or whatever. I'm curious. You invited me, so I just kind of want to listen in to see how it all goes.
Okay, well, here's what the deal is. I'm gonna give you a secret.
Okay.
I'm a fisherman, and we have a few fishermen here. And when I reach out, that's my reach out bait message. And when I send it, it's it's with I send it in. It's like an ocean of DNA, and I throw it way out, and then it just goes around, floats around, and sooner or later, it's gonna one of these fish are gonna hit it. Either it's a small fish, a medium-sized fish, or a big-sized fish,
A
or a
largemouth
whale,
bass.
or a whale. And
Mm-hmm.
and so once that they respond to my message, it's one thing for them to respond to it, but it's another thing to bring them in. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to have the techniques, the patience, and a strong enough line to bring
Mm-hmm.
that big whale in. And that's one of your DNA relatives. That's somebody who has information. That's somebody that you can you can glean a lot of information on your research. And
So I'm not I'm kind of I'm new at this, but yet still I haven't found how we are connected because, like I say, I didn't see that.
well, that's what the purpose is. So you are considered a whale.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh.
and another reason you're here. And,
Mm-hmm.
and you have information on the Moss family.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important for us to um, take our time. And I don't want to, flush you off. I don't want to, flush you off. I want to take my time and treat you right, and open the door for you, give you an offer. What's your favorite meal? And be able to sit some time and talk to you
Mm-hmm.
because you have information about my family that I don't know, and I have information about those Mosses that you don't know,
Okay.
and that's what the purpose is of us being here. So,
Okay.
so thank you so much for joining, and I just
And
want
I'm
to
gonna
share that story, with everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jerry, I'm gonna while y'all I'm gonna get on mute and I'm going to text my friend Margaret Moss, and that's the one that she should be on here too listening. She married a Moss, but she's done a lot of research, and I
Well,
think
before you do that,
yeah.
Cuz, would you give us a intro based off of the format that I just laid out, please?
Okay, Jerry. All right. I'm Carla Hines, maiden name
Hi.
Hines. Hi. Coleman, married to a Coleman, and I'm here in Little Rock, Arkansas. And my interest started with Alex Haley also. And I grew up going to family reunions, but it was on my mom's side, and they were Hegwoods, Hegwood. And
Mm-hmm.
so they were from the southern part of Arkansas around Monticello or Drew County. And then they migrated up to Little Rock. So from that, I started researching. My grandmother's maiden name was Haley. So now that piqued interest.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex's father worked at UAPB. And so the old Pine Bluff Highway is what she lived on, Highway 365. Uh, it would go from Pine Bluff to Little Rock.
Okay.
And so Mr. Simon Haley would stop at my grandmother's sometimes. And because they had the same last name, and you know how we are when we know somebody, just like everybody on here, I've got a uh some kind of Arkansas connection.
Okay.
And so that's how I got started. And then I got to be the chairperson of the Black History Commission of Arkansas. And then I'm a member of OGS, Afro American Historical and Genealogical Society. And then we started an organization here called PAC, Preservation of African American Cemeteries.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this format is great because Jerry and I met through a cousin, a DNA cousin, and I'm still trying to work to see how we can, and it comes out of Arkansas, Fort
Okay.
Lake, Arkansas. Yes. So people migrated. So Olivet is she's your cousin Jerry. I mean, she's on the Ma side. I know you were helping her a lot.
Yes.
And then and so me and Jerry and Olivet are a trio.
Okay.
So that's how I got started. And that's my
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, thank you
So
so
Carla,
that
what
much.
what chapter of OGS? What
Arkansas.
chapter? The Arkansas chapter.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have one in Ohio. So I've been joining them from all other places like Tennessee and whenever I
Yeah.
come across OGS
Right.
members from other states, I have somebody that I can reach out to if I need help with something. So that's good to
Sure.
know.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a genealogist there by the name of Dr. Deborah Abbott in Ohio, and she does
Hmm.
a lot of forums. So sometimes when she's on something, and if y'all want to share your emails in the chat, you can, and we can um, share. Is
That
that
would
all
be
right,
awesome.
Jerry?
Yeah, that would be awesome. And
Okay.
then you mentioned cemeteries. That's one of my focuses on Wikitree. I'm
Okay.
collecting the information about all the African American cemeteries
Right.
and building profiles for those people that are laid to rest in those cemeteries. And we do that in hopes that their descendants will have an easier time finding them and being able to trace them back to other ancestors.
Well, I
So,
I appreciate that because somebody had done in Ohio. There are several cemeteries, but there's one like it's either it's in Urbana or it's in which is up and which is down, Cleveland or Cincinnati.
Cleveland is up, Cincinnati is
Yeah.
down. Uh-huh.
Okay,
Is it Spring
Cincinnati.
Grove since is it Spring Grove?
Okay. All right. So look, y'all, my husband said, "What were you doing in school?" I said, "Probably looking at you." So that's interesting. And that's how I found my third great grandparents because somebody had taken a picture and it's not find a grave, it's the billion graves. So my ancestors grave markers and bios, whatever they had, is in somebody from Ohio had done it. So I appreciate
Okay.
what you do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I accumulate that information in Wikitree.
Okay.
So I know Billion Graves, you have to pay a subscription in order to see that information.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I don't
I
have a
mean
subscription.
to
I just
really see
know it.
detailed information, you have to pay a subscription to
Okay.
Billion Graves.
Okay.
But Wikitree is free.
Free.
So yeah, yeah, and I can, at one of our meetings, if Jerry will allow, I can walk folks through how to do that research there on Wikitree and see, the cemeteries that we have because they're all collected together as African American cemeteries.
All
I
right.
don't want the other cemeteries. I just want the African American cemeteries or the sections of the major cemeteries in a township that were segregated for African Americans only.
That's important because a lot of the information is lost because of
Yes,
migration. We leave, and then they
yes,
say that the African American cemeteries are abandoned. They're not abandoned. We just
yes,
left. And then if you dig a trench where I can't get in, yeah, it's going to be abandoned because I can't get in.
right, right. So
Okay.
yeah, that and the churches, because a lot of Black cemeteries were affiliated with the church.
Hmm.
So I'm collecting not only the cemeteries, but the Black churches, as well as some of the other special communities, like you and Jerry were talking about in Omaha, Nebraska. That's another
Yeah.
one of those I can repeat what I said yesterday about somebody from Iowa. I didn't
Uh,
know they had Black folk there. So same
Amen.
thing, same thing with
Amen.
Omaha. I didn't realize they actually had a community of
Oh
Black folks
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So, and we like to collect the information about those Black folks.
Yeah.
You hear the communities itself because they thrived on their own. And we don't hear a lot about that. Like Jerry was saying earlier,
Yeah.
you don't hear a lot about that in our African American history.
So
We've
true.
expanded from 1 week to 1 month, and they still don't tell us anything but the stuff we've always heard. You
Like
know,
Altadena.
yes, yep, yep. So that's the information I try to collect and put out there on Wikitree so that it's
Okay.
accessible to anyone and everyone. And that's one of the things I like about it. You can do a search on Google for a family member's name, and if we have it in Wikitree, it's going to pop up on Google, and you can come out the Wikitree and you can see what we've collected on their profiles and possibly add more information. Tell us more about that person. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much for these introductions. It was very informative and it was amazing. It really could as a follow up could each of you put your contact information in a chat if you're familiar with that process so that we can share it back and forth, your contact information. Some have done it already. Um, Shirley, could you in particular put your contact information and I'll put mine in the chat, please?
Um,
Are you familiar with that?
yeah, I'm new at this, so I'm not.
And you're on your iPhone, so I understand.
Yeah.
Well, how can we?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I see it.
Yeah, it's tricky on that phone.
It took me a minute.
Y'all doing things
So
that I
you
don't
want
even
my
do.
what now?
Your contact information, how I can
Um,
contact you, because I can send you I can send you the information I have, and we can have a, private meeting, and I'm available to have a private meeting with any one of you.
okay. Did you say
Very
it?
good.
Yeah, you just did,
Okay.
man. Talk about being fruitful and multiplying. So, Carla, did you have a task that you wanted to do? Contact someone else before we go into
Yes,
our
I'm doing.
presentation?
I'm putting in my contact, and then I'm sending Margaret the email so she can log on. Margaret Moss.
Okay, do that.
Okay.
We appreciate that. And then we've had another participant join. Hello, cousin Miranda.
Hi, cousin Jerry. How are you? Hi,
Um,
everyone.
Hello.
yeah, we have a number of bright, beautiful women and intelligent, and we're just here, just chopping it up.
All right.
We were
Sorry,
just
I'm late.
going through our intros. Could you give us a brief introduction of yourself and your purpose and how how what your purpose is for ancestry, and after that leave some context because they're really sharing information. We're sharing information before
Okay,
we go into the presentation portion. uh, uh,
sure.
Miranda.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Miranda Hazard. I live out here in San Diego, California. Been here for, oh goodness, about 35 years. And I basically, oh goodness, I've been doing genealogy, family history research for well over 10 years, and I enjoy it. It's definitely something that I'm very much interested in, and I have been labeled, so to say, as the family historian on multiple sides of my family. And I say multiple because I have more than just two sides. But at the same time, I find Ancestry to be very helpful, as well as what is it, My Heritage, Family Search, and some of the others. But overall, I just really I like finding new information, and is it just finding information overall about all family members as much as I can. I really enjoy engaging with people um, when it comes down to genealogy research. Anytime I find anyone who's also interested in genealogy, it means a lot to me because I know it's something that not everyone is interested in or has the patience for. But my purpose overall is just to find out all that I can while I can. And I say that all the time.
That's
And I mean
great.
that to be, while I can, one, while I'm still on this earth, as long as others that are still here. I mean, I no longer have my grandmothers, so I'm relying on the one grandfather that I have left out of four that I had. He's 92, and there are just some things that I'm still researching. There's still so much that I would like to know. I myself have ordered a number of books online just for different areas and states and professions that I've come across that some ancestors have either lived in or that they have worked in certain things. For example, mariners, aka also known as fishermen, out in Rhode Island, black fishermen. That was a way of life out there. As well as I had two ancestors leave the South to go to Rhode Island, the North, so to say, to for work, and that was part of the Great Migration. And there's a book out about um, such a subject. I mean, there's just so much that I've learned, and I'm still learning, and I enjoy the learning. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it there because I know I'm taking a lot of time and I'm so sorry. But I love it. I love it. I love it. And I thank you. And I'm so grateful to be on this call. I was just on another family reunion committee call previously, but I'm just now joining. And I thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much, cuz.
You're welcome.
Double R. Are you with us?
Trying to unmute my cousin. What's going on, man? Peace and blessings. How y'all doing?
We're doing great. We're having our intros and you right on time as usual. Could you give us a brief introduction of uh, who you are, your purpose, and how's things been going for you?
Who I am? I'm your cousin. With my purpose, I'm sent from God to do His work on reparations. If you see behind me, now this is Reggie Romain from CJ Coalition for a Just Up in California, the #1 grassroots organization for reparations in California. And I tell you this, it's a fight going on, Black family. But check this out. We gonna get it done. That's what God told us. And that's the job. And I yield Black power every hour, every second.
Come on.
Could you at least let us know where you live at and what area you're in and how we met?
I live in California. I'm in Menifee, California. I'm about an hour away from my cousin. We met at a reparations task force meeting in San Diego. About a year or two ago? No, it's been about 2 years now, Jerry. And he gave me well, actually, I was at the meeting and he had one test he was going to hand out, and I raised my hand and he gave it to me, and I still got the picture. We found out that that's my cousin. So I've been assisting him with reparations on his genealogy project, and my project is with reparations. So I've been missing it a little bit, but today I was pretty free. Today I've been pretty busy. We've been at the We was at the Capitol on January 7th, touching back because January 6th they started back legislation here at the Capitol in Sacramento. Bus ride, about 52 of us from LA, and we went up to Sacramento, and we had a lobby session up there, dropping on all the legislators. We had a team of 11 for 9 to 15 people, and we was 120 legislators. We was talking to them about putting our bills back on the floor for this year. I yield Black Power every second of the hour.
I heard that. Go ahead, Clarice.
Jerry.
Yes.
Can I ask a question? Shirley Brown, was it her pains in Arkansas?
No, I said Payton.
Spell that.
P as in Paul, A-D-E-N.
P-A-D-E-N.
Yes.
Hayden. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Clarice.
Yeah, I just wanted to say hi, Reggie. You all, that's the real Mr. Reparation.
And that's real First Lady of Radio, Sister Clarice, Queen Clarice, first Lady of Radio. Glad to do shows with her in Sacramento.
I don't care where you go.
Yeah.
Reggie is going to get reparation in there. He is no joke about reparation. He is such a champion, a stronghold. He keeps us all together on reparation. That's the man. Thank you.
Salute, Queen. Salute, Queen, First Lady. Salute to you. And that's the lady right there. I tell you what, she done softened me about a lot of things, about how, from a different perspective from a woman. I wish I was her age, and I wish I would have been her husband back in them days, because she teach you a lot about how a woman's supposed to be to her king. And I don't hear that from a lot of people nowadays. But when I first heard it on the radio, I was like, who is this lady speaking this wisdom? I was like, well, I got to meet her. And through Zoom, through cousin Jerry, I finally got to see her face. So salute, Queen. I appreciate you. Salute.
My honor. California, we stick together. Yeah,
I see.
we stick together. I mean, we are seriously in a battle. I mean, we are on different platforms, different shows. We have our ups and downs, but we stick together. We're going to get this done. And as I say, when it happens in California, so as the rest of the nation, we are, you know about the fires and all of this is going on, but through it all, what I was saying earlier, Reggie, is that through all of this controversy, what it's causing us to do is to really go back to the basic and really starting to build for ourselves because none of it's for us, but we got to go out and get the spoils.
Amen, Queen. I concur. I concur. I second that. Yes, ma'am.
I want to share something with you, Reggie, Lamar. Uh, in San Diego, we have a black, uh, it's our black San Diego black media, and they had an article, and here it is. It's 7 questions for reparations advocate Chris Lawton. And here it is. There's an article on him. That there's an article. I'm just letting you know that in our main black uh, media paper, they have an article on 2024 in review on the 7 questions for reparations advocate Chris Longton, and he answers all of them. So I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, yeah. Chris is our head organizer for our team. He is the godfather, the king of reparations, and salute to him, man. His work is impeccable. He taught me so much about legislators and politics. I met him for the first time in Oakland when I first heard about reparations task force meeting, and it was probably about the seventh one. After I got off and did my public comment, he grabbed me. He saw the fire in me, and I took his number, and he finally got me on the CJ team. But every morning I hit him with a scripture. He doubled back, "Good morning, amen." I know that brother is something special with him. He's originally from New York, but I tell you this, that guy don't quit. Actually, he's right now. He sent us a text in our CJEC chat. He's actually in the Bahamas right now, spreading reparations. And so I said, "Man, take a break, brother. Drink one for me, you know." But he ain't got no hair. But I said, "Let your hair down, brother." I mean, I said, "Come on, man." He said, "No." He said, "The ancestors say speak about it, and it's just like me." And I think I did the same thing when I went to Hawaii. I can't stop talking about it. I was supposed to have a vacation, but he's the same way, and I like that. We both had that same energy, and we ain't gonna stop until they cut the CJ check. You know what I mean? Until they cut the check. You know what I mean? So that's just our crew. We got about 20 people on our a volunteer team, which we do mobilize and organize. And as you talked about San Diego, I was just there, and I think I told you I went to the Martin Luther King March day you guys have, and I was there to approach one of the COBC members, California Legislative Black Caucus member, which has got high ranks, Miss Akila Weber, and which is Dr. Shirley Weber's daughter. She's assembly member, and my job was to expose her and let them know what she did. She did not put our bills on the floor. The COBC turned against us. They vetoed our bills because they didn't put them on the floor. And I was there to expose her. And she saw me in the crowd. She was, oh, that's Double R. What are you doing out here? You on my six. What the heck? But then some cats from Africa Town, salute to them, and some Black Panther Party members. The original Black Panther Party, not the new Black Panther Party I'm with, but they was up there, and we really took it to her and exposed her and let them know that it's Martin Luther King Day. And I told her, I said, he stood for reparations too. So, we have to understand black faces in high places is not like us. I yield. Black power every second of the hour.
Well, this is an example. You never know who your relatives are because of that America's messed up sin of slavery. And now we're still reconstructing our families. It took them, the folks, like 12 years, and they called themselves reconstructed. We still reconstructing our families. And like I'm doing all I can to keep my peace. I don't like to be like a thermometer and just go up because I'm so angry. It's important for me to stay stable, but also be determined, just like our our historians, our ancestors were, and they got it done. They wasn't complaining. They had more adverse situations than we did. And so, like, if you complaining now, get your ass out the way, cause we rolling. Trains going down the track. So
yes, sir.
on that, that's and my component is the genealogy component, because our reparations are based off of being lineage based, and so we have to be able to prove our uh, lineage ancestors who were enslaved before 1900. And our genealogy, our records, we have that information, and so that's what I offer to CJEC and to um, all individuals who have a desire to learn more about their history. We have the tools, and we're sharing them.
Yeah, let me clear that up a little bit for you, cousin. Absolutely, that is one of the qualifications for reparations in California. But if your ancestors were slaves and lived in a southern state and then moved before 1900 and you came to California, that's one of the qualifications you will. The second qualifications will be if you lived in California for at least 6 months before, I guess, August of 2020, when Gavin Newsom put the study on the floor. How you, Black Power?
So basically, what's happening is either through my experiences, and I'm sure your experiences, either you are at the table making the decisions, or, as you've heard, you will be the meal. I prefer to be at the table. I yield black.
And I'm at the table with you with 3 loaves and 4 fishes. We about to feed a multitude of our people, and 2.6 blacks here in California, about 2.1 or 2 will qualify. And after this go round, you can bet your bottom dollar that we getting these bills passed, because last year was a disappointment, August 31st, but we got our foot wet. We understand what we have to go through. We have some hurdles. But this time, I think that, no, I know that August 31st coming this year, we'll have these reparations on the floor. And I want to let people know in different states, keep your studies going. New York got theirs, Boston got theirs, Illinois got theirs, several other. And we support them too. And you have to go lineage base. All blacks are not qualified. And that's the big argument. We took a year here in California just to determine that. And they have to understand that, like the Asians, when the Japanese got it, the Chinese didn't get it, the Filipinos didn't get it. So You have to stick with African American descendants of slaves. I yield. Black Power.
Clarice, go ahead. Clarice, you had a comment?
Oh, yes, I'm talking up the storm and Mike is mute. Reggie sort of answered the question that I was going to just raise for the sake of the group, is that even though we have a California reparations, and he was saying that you have to be here, there's a timeline for that. But also the other states are doing things, but we're also trying to get this acknowledged federally, collaborating later on. But the California reparations does not only the lineage, descendants of the slave, but also the requirement to have lived or live in California at a certain time. But the big fight is to get the federal government to cut a check, or not just cut checks, but do repairs, restorations, compensations, and all these different other things. Thank you.
Oh, Sister Clarice, simultaneously, we doing national right now, too. So it's
Oh,
not later. Yeah, we hitting that as well. We got different coalitions that's under us. CJEC, we have about close to 40 different organizations underneath us, and we're hitting national right now, too. So
good. Good.
so the 40 acres and the mule, that's coming. And too, this is a good thing too. Even if you lived in, just like Chris Lodson, he lived in New York. And once New York kicked theirs in, that boy gonna be double dipping because he gonna get reparations from New York and reparations from California and reparations from the United States. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot involved. And this is rightfully old, you know what I mean? Because the atrocities happen in different states. And if you was a part of it, uh, you will be compensated. I yield. Black Power.
On the agenda, we have a couple items, and due to time constraints, the first one there was we talked briefly about find a grave application, and searching our ancestors' death records can bring life to new unknown relatives. That program is a helpful program. Find a grave, and it's free. And what happened is, in my case, there's one of my DNA cousins. Her name is Betty Swan, who is proficient in that application. And my grandfather's memorial was incorrect, and she spotted it. And I was able to correct it because somebody else manages those. There's the managers of the memorials that are on Find the Grave. And so I had to contact that person, let them know that I had more legitimate information than him, because it was information about a white man, and my grandfather was black. And so what I did is I contacted him, gave him verifications information, and then they released the information, and then I am now the person who was in charge of my grandfather's memorial, and I was able to add the correct information on him, and I was also on Find a Grave was able to add other family members. You can add where they were, records about your family members and where your other ancestors or relatives are, where they're buried or interned. So Find a Grave is a very important tool to use in your research. Any questions on that?
No question, Jerry. But again, and you gave a great example. You have to be careful because that information is entered manually by individuals. Errors are made, so you have to be careful. And it's don't consider Find a Grave a source, a valid source. It's just a hint where you can see, okay, well, my ancestors were reported to have been interred here, but if you can, if at all possible, back that up with a death record or some other kind of family document, Bible, whatever, that says that that person was interred in that location, or has a monument, some other kind of cenotaph in another location, because that happened a lot, especially with the military folks. They may have been interred where they passed away, which may have been like in Vietnam or whatever, and then they put a cenotaph in a hometown cemetery. And sometimes people mistake that for an actual burial location. It's just an indication that this person was a member of this community, so we're paying honor to that person by putting a headstone there.
Thank you, Denise. The next item, agenda item, is the GEDmatch research platform. It will be explained. We will be comparing different GEDmatch kit numbers to discover shared DNA matches. I have GEDmatch, and I want to share this with you because on our let's see, let me go to share my screen. Can you see this screen, everyone? This GEDmatch screen.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is the platform that we use GEDmatch that we compare our DNA with other DNA from different platforms and from like in our case, most of us have DNA in ancestry.com. But GEDmatch is like a giant Amazon DNA warehouse. It has all the different test platforms. They upload their individuals. You have to want yours up on this platform, and there's a little bit more security involved in it. As a matter of fact, it's the law enforcement. They use GEDmatch for different investigations. So keep that in mind. But as for us, and for me, we use it to compare our DNA with another individual's DNA, and we can find out who we have shared matches with, and we can identify what branch of the family that we're related to each other. So it is a powerful program and that we use, and it's free too. But if you want more information, you have to add. You do have to pay for additional information. But you upload your raw DNA GEDcom file to GEDmatch, and then that's that large database, and then it compares your DNA with other platforms like 23andMe, MyHeritage, and a number of them. But so you don't have to pay all those for those different platforms. And other people, they use those platforms and they don't use Ancestry DNA, so you don't know if you're related to them. So all of a sudden, you put your raw data up on GEDcom file up on Ancestry DNA, this Amazon DNA, all these people, then you can match different individuals. And you can use, it has different formats that you can share. It has research groups. So it's a very valuable tool that we use. As a matter of fact, that's how we found out that a lot of us are related, is through GEDmatch. Questions on that and comments? Here's an example. This is my GEDmatch, and there's my GEDmatch kit number. It's over on the side. That's my GEDmatch kit number. But these are the things that you can do with it. The free tools, one to many. I can click on that and it'll show me all the people who I match. And then there's another one that I use quite frequently, people who match both kit numbers. So if I've met like Deborah and Denise, uh, um, Miranda.
Mhm.
We compare our two kit numbers, and then we find out who we're related to. They show up. So that that connects us as cousins. We don't know exactly where, but we know per DNA we do we are connected through DNA. And then it's up to us to go deeper into our individual research to find out what branch. And then you just start coming down and down and down until you find out, where at in your tree are you related. So, can anybody else expand on that GEDmatch a little further, or what the value is of it, please?
Huh.
Do you want to see an example of it? How it
So
works? Carla, Carla, do you
I
have it?
do. Yeah, well, I was going to ask you, it's changed and it's been a minute since I've been on, and you were talking about the one to many and the one and the one. See, they have an original and a limited, and so many people have been saying that since they changed or upgraded or something, working with it is a little different. So can you show us?
I will. Who has a kit number that you want to compare? I can compare mines with.
Oh, somebody already put one in here.
Just read it off to me. So, can't do that. I gotta look in the chat. Mm,
Uh,
Let me see.
who put it in? Deborah put one in.
Okay, let me look and see.
It's in the chat.
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Actually, mine and my mother's.
Hmm. Well, they don't
So
know about
Deborah,
kit
the
numbers.
top one is yours.
Give me the kit number.
Yes, ma'am.
Deborah, yours, please. You could read it off to me.
Okay. It is XF 5292408.
XF 5292408. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Everyone, watch watch this carefully, because this
Okay.
is one of the most powerful tools that we use when we're conducting our research. So here it is. It has my profile. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. GEDmatch. Can you see that better? That made it bigger? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is my profile, username, and this is my kit number. There's a kit number right there.
Okay.
That's what each individuals have. It's like the kit number in GEDmatch. So my kit number is that. Now, once I go into that, say one to many original. You see this one over here? One to original. See that?
Yes.
But click on that, and it comes over to here. The kit number. I'll put my kit number. You see my name right there?
Okay.
Jerry Brent Moss. Now, what it's going to do, it's going to go through that Amazon DNA database, and it's going to show all the people who uploaded their DNA, who wanted to know more, or who they were connected to, other than the ones that are on Amazon or 23andMe or MyHeritage. So here we go. Display results. Here they are. The results come. The results are here. They are. This matches the these are all the different people who match me, and it's by centromorgans. The higher centromorgans are the first ones that are on here. You can see this total centromorgans. That's the measurement. The higher the number, the closer they are to you as a relative. And this young Moss happens to be my grandson. And so he matches me a total of 1928 centromorgans and 146 segments. So he is. I did his. I had him do his test. That is my grandson. So he matches me higher than anyone who has uploaded their test. But
So
then
that generation section, that means that's what is that, 1.4 generation?
1.4 away. He's my
Okay.
he's my grandson. And then here's these Perrys, these Brunels. You see them? The Brunels. And that it gives the kit number right there. It gives all the kit numbers. And Perry Brunel. And this is a person, Frances. This is one of my cousins, Frances. She's the one that Frances Haywood. They have the person who's managing it, and it shows you what your centromorgans are and how far that they're related to you. So there they are, and so it just goes. The higher the number, it starts with the centromorgans first. The higher number is at the top, and it just goes right on down, and you start seeing people's names. So there they all are. So these are people who match me. And I was able to find a cousin. This person, Aline Dixon, she's 100 years old now, but she matched me 44 centromorgans. And I contacted her because her granddaughter, her granddaughter lives up in Los Angeles. Her name is Tamara Dixon. She's a dentist. And then she contacted me and let me talk to this to Aline Dixon. And so I never would have known that. And so that's the value of this. And then that helped me figure out that Moss side of my family, or my second grandfather, when they showed up in all these census, now their names, I can put a person to the name. Wow. And now I have live DNA cousins that I can see now. See, I didn't have that. The folks, they took all that away. They didn't think we'd ever see each other. They never thought we'd do this. But only by the grace of God and our works that we're together now. We're family. We're cousins. I like that. Okay, so there that one is. And somebody was trying to get in here. Let me see.
So you can compare yours to Denise's?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that next. Let me show you how. Let me show you how to do that. Let me move this over. Oh, Clarice, she had dropped out. She's back. All right, let me put us back. Okay. Now on this side, can you see this now? Where the original homepage? Can y'all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
People who match both, kit 1 or kit 2. You see that one? I'll click on that. And watch this. People who match both kits, 1 of 2 kits. My number comes right up. I'll click my number in there. Bam. You see my kit number? And then I'm gonna put her number in. It is X. That's F 5292
408.
08. There it is right there. So can y'all see that?
Yes.
And I have a threshold 10 centromorgans. the largest segment, it has to be somebody over 10 centromorgans. I can make that lower. I can take that down to 3 or something like that. And those are DNA measurements. But let's go see what we come up. This says display results. And look at this. This says kits that match my number, kit number, and her number.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes in here. It also says, there I am, kit 1, Jerry Brett Moss, and kit 2, there she is.
Okay.
And then so what happens is, here's the matches. This line right here, after my kit number, I'm first over to the left, and her see her XF to the right. This line right here separates us, the one right there. So
Okay.
the people who are in this ancestry DNA, their kit numbers over here, there their matches are, there their names are, and these show the shared matches. So this person here, this V Owens, matches me with 40 centromorgans, and 20, and they're like 4.2 generations away from me. But they match her 17 centromorgans. This 4.9 centromorgans away. And it has their name. Let me get this for you. I'm gonna show you something.
Can you watch the Super Bowl? Can you watch the Super Bowl? Can you watch the Super Bowl? Super Bowl.
Okay, right here. And so it has an email address for that person. So you see, and so I know who these people are. I know who Exel Kendrick is. He's one of my cousins on my. He's a great researcher, and he manages like about 50 kits.
Wow.
And it's Faye. That's one of my cousins too, on my father's side. So I wouldn't know. And here's Francis right here, Fraser. And then when I come back over here,
welcome to the documentary series.
These numbers on the kit numbers, they can tell you where. Was it 23andMe? Was it My Heritage? But the bottom line is they separated us by numbers. What's the highest number?
Right.
So these are people who match me, her and me, and so I can say we have shared matches, and she might know some of these people on her side, but I definitely know some of them on my side, and then that's how we start. Okay, let's look at this branch. This is where we're closely related to. So that's why I can call her cousin. We have this many matches. One's 40 centromorgans. The highest one, though, for me, her and me, this person is 40 centromorgans for me. That's a fourth cousin. But for her, this is 17 centromorgans. That's a 4.9 cousin. And that's Exel. Exel is the one who is managing that kit. So that's how you can tell. And it's Faye. That's my cousin over there. It's Faye. She's 38 and 15. So, Denise, do you know any of these people?
It's Deborah.
Deborah, do you know any of them?
I don't, but you said you know the first person?
I know the first person. I know the second person. I know this person here, Frances Haywood's, all of them. Frances Haywood, she's my mentor. She's the one that started me. She's the one I give all the credit to, because she's my mentor, and she got me started.
Okay, so the first person, do you know how you're exactly how you're related to them?
Yes.
Okay, so then if I can figure out how I'm related to them, then I would know how I'm related to you.
Correct. That's what this tour is about.
Okay, so I guess I'll need to get with you and see their kit, their tree on Ancestry.
Correct.
Wonderful.
But at least what has been determined. I want each of you to see this. I knew that I was related to her through with DNA because we've talked previously at this Freeman's Friday Bureau, and
Right.
and we shared kit numbers, and I saw it then. But this is the time we're seeing it live now. You're seeing what you can produce, what this program produces, and now her and I can be a little bit more strategic. Same thing for Miranda. She has a kit number and my kit number, and there's people who show up. See, she might know. Miranda might know some of the names. I might know some of the names. And some of them we might not know, but we know that we're related because they both have DNA, shared DNA.
Can you scroll back over to the left? I want to get the kit number, please.
Okay.
I wanted to get the top kit number. Okay. Thank you.
There they are. There they all are. So, what did it mean for me to teach you that platform, the purpose of that platform? Anyone, please comment. What did you learn?
It's not today. I lied. I thought it was. I lied. It's not today. I thought it was.
Oh.
It's on the 9th. And that's what I thought.
I'll answer.
Go ahead.
It helped me with you showing me. It's making it a little bit easier for me to go in now and do what you did. I'll probably only use the buttons.
Did you get the thing set up in the room?
And then I will I feel a little bit more secure with going back to GEDmatch. So that helped.
Because then you should be able to get everything that this one has.
Say, Shirley, could you please mute yourself? Shirley, if you can hear me.
I beg your pardon?
Would you please mute yourself? You were over. While Carla was talking, we heard your mic too.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was my granddaughter was saying something to me. I'm sorry.
That's okay. But go ahead, Carla.
Yeah, that just it just helps me to go into it. I know what to do, because of others going into it and saying, it looks like it's kind of hard. They've upgraded, so I'm gonna try it. And I want to thank the ones for putting in their GEDmatch number so I can go in and compare it to mine. I got some good news from Miss Hardin. Denise?
Really?
Yes. You had 100. Was that you that had the, let me see, was that you? Let me look at my notes. I got my notes. Who had the matches to the Hegwood? Was that you, Denise?
No, I was doing something on Wikitree just to pull out the Hedgewoods in Arkansas where there's 125 matches.
For Hegwood.
Yeah, and whoever that was, I can't remember who it was now that said one of their names was Hegwood, but I checked that and that's who they can look those up if they want to.
And that's what is that in? What did you look in?
That's in Wikitree.
Wikitree, thank you.
Uh-huh. Doing a search on Hegwood, the last name, and then in the birth area, just put in the state of Arkansas.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That was a shortcut. I hadn't tried Hegwood yet.
What was the news, Carla, that you had?
Well, that was it. When Denise put in the chat that she found 129 matches for Hegwood, and that's my mother's maiden name. So I can go to Wikitree. I hadn't, on the Wikitree part, but on the GEDmatch in your demonstration, that helped.
Well, Carla, do you have your GEDmatch kit number? Because I can do a comparison with you and Denise.
Oh, I don't have it on my phone. Hold on, let me get my let me get my password book.
Take your time. Thanks everyone for being so patient. So while we're at it, I'm going to put yours in first, Denise.
Okay.
No, that was Deborah's. What is yours, Denise?
RW 310.
Just a minute. Yes.
You got it? RW 310 2486.
Okay. So while Carla's getting hers, I'm gonna do yours and mine. How's that?
Okay.
Here we go. All right.
You
We
gonna
do
share
have,
your screen?
okay. Let's see here. Can you see this?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, there we are.
And I
First
don't
one.
know any of those people.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at them.
Mm-hmm.
And the, the, here, these are our DNA matches. Who matches both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 20. This person here, W.L. Berg, 20. They're like a fourth cousin to me. So all yours, the closest one is this here Streeter. That's a 4.5, 4.5, 16. Oh, that's mine's is 26, 16.
Mm-hmm.
See, the line goes right. Yours went in first. So there's your
Mm-hmm.
differences right there. So we do have people. One is 33. This person, Felicia Wood, they matched me for 33. That's he's over here. Re, re,
They
Renetta Wood. There she is. So we do have people. I don't know them either, but we do have shared matches.
Mm-hmm.
Just 33 is the highest, and then the next one is 26. So that's the value of this of the program.
Mm-hmm.
So
you want me
who
to give you mine now?
are you ready, Carla?
I am
Okay, give it to me.
M405284.
Can I make a comment real quickly about your match with Denise?
Go ahead.
Streeter is a surname that's on my mother's side. I can't remember. I believe it's my mother's side, but yes, Streeter is a surname that matches me as well.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
We have them in Arkansas too. Helena.
Okay, that is okay. Could I have yours again, Denise?
RW 310 2486.
RW3102486, correct?
That's correct.
Is my Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, well let's go for the results. Man, this is like The Price is Right. Here we go.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
There you are. Woo,
Oh, wow.
man.
Now
Boy,
this is,
Carla, you got somebody
well,
with
do you
200.
see the one at the top?
Yeah.
Okay, and she matches 49. Um, Michelle, what is that? Michelle Hood?
Yeah, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a cousin.
Yeah, she's a real close match to you.
She is my mother's, what do you call it? My mother's oldest sister was her great grandmother.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
And so here's the line right here. And so there's 15,
Yeah, she's a
4.9.
long ways away from me.
Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
here's these different names. And this is the emails, how to contact them. But
Mm-hmm.
and here's one over on the side, another one over here. I saw one. Here's a 40, a 40
What does
with
that mean?
a 40 with you, Denise, 46
Uh-huh.
organs, and it's 11 with her.
Uh-huh.
This person is 4.2 away from you generation, and it's a 5.2 away from
From me.
Carla.
Wow.
Yeah. So for Michelle up at the top, can you click on that GED? I want to see what that yeah. I want to see what
Mm-hmm.
that says.
Yeah, what does that stand for? And it had
Individual
something
detail
about the,
display.
It's their tree. It stands
Yeah.
for GEDcom, but it's their tree.
Yeah, but her mother and father are hidden. So already that's not going to help me any.
But,
Can we see the rest of her pedigree chart?
no, but look at this though. One thing that it says, DNA kits linked to this individual.
Yeah.
so if you hit that
There's
J,
another kit right here. Let's click on that,
okay.
please.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going into some of the um, one to many DNA comparison for that one. So it's just going into that.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you go back and show the pedigree chart for her?
Which one? The
Where it
pedigree
says
right
pedigree. Uh-huh.
Yeah, for Michelle.
Oh, see, there's really no information
It
there that would
sure
help me.
isn't.
Yeah.
Wow. But that's okay. I know her.
That's a plus for you, yeah.
That, that's a plus for you because she matches too.
Yeah.
So does her DNA, and I see it said Wilfong, they came out of Virginia and South Carolina. She can trace
Oh, okay.
back. She's done some extensive search. So, in history it said that Virginia and Maryland, they got so full of black folk that they start migrating them south.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah. Empatha
Yeah.
that played on, what did she play on? Law and Order?
Yeah. Epatha, S.E.
Yeah.
Patha.
Uh-huh. She found hers, what was that, in Mississippi and Louisiana?
Okay. Not
Yeah.
surprising.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From Virginia, somewhere up that way.
Yeah, most of us started out on the East Coast.
Oh, yeah.
Maryland, Virginia, Delaware.
Right.
So that's an example of
Thank you, Jerry.
Yep,
yeah,
thanks.
the GEDmatch platform, and I just wanted to take the time to show you, each of you, and that's I hope that it was been of value to you to see that
Oh, yeah.
the process, and then that's where it goes. You have to meet up, in private and work yourself through it. But yeah, I it means a lot to me to hear your thanks because
Mm-hmm.
and you were patient enough. I like doing research, but it's better to conduct research with people instead of by
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
myself.
and see
Yeah.
somebody else push the buttons.
Yeah, So I want to show you one of this next item because I know it's getting late. There's two items, but who's that? Miranda? So you want to see it, Miranda? Are you curious?
I I am a bit curious, but I don't want to hold the call up.
Oh
I
no,
just now found my number. All that
let's
time I was searching for mine.
let's go back and do Miranda.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would love to know.
Yeah, well let's do that, cuz.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, mine is there's mine. Did you give me yours?
Yes, it's R is in Robert, Q is in quiet, 2307454.
Let me share my screen.
Okay.
So can y'all see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we're going to keep it at the 10 threshold right here, Miranda.
Okay.
Here is our connection. Display results.
Drum roll.
Yeah. Okay. We have one with me. It's 2022.
Okay.
The highest one. They're 4.6 generations, and yours is 12, 5.1. And
Mm-hmm.
here's the name, Chris Caldwell. Oh wow. And Nicole. And here's my dear cousin Frances Haywood. You see that?
Wow. Yeah.
There's,
Oh,
there's Frances Haywood. So
okay.
she put a test in. Where's that at? Here's Eric, this Eric Kirkwood.
Mm-hmm.
He's 12 with me, and he's 11 with you.
Okay.
And that's like about 5.1 generation and 5.2.
Wow.
But the thing of it is, I know there's two of these people I know. I know, and this one, Brown Kitten.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I know Brown Kitten. She's part of my genealogy group. This Karen Denise Taylor.
Uh-huh.
She matches me 10, but she matches you more.
Yeah,
14.
14.
14.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
So that's her. But when this is my keynote, Frances. Again, she's my mentor. I know what side of the family that we're dealing with. We're on my father's side of the family, number one. I know what branch, you see,
Okay.
and I know that it's on my grandmother's side, the
Wow.
Burnells, the
Okay.
Burnells, and I know where that branch is. But that's
Mm-hmm.
how I can distinguish where where to start looking.
Yeah,
I see.
look at the McCain for her, 16.4.
Now, the only last name on here that looks even remotely familiar to me is the McCain, but
Mm-hmm.
it's the spelling that I've seen is McKain.
Oh,
This
same
one,
thing.
Tarita, to Tara at 11,
Yeah,
and she's 16 with you,
Uh-huh.
I see. My goodness. Okay.
and she's 4.9. And see, we'll have to find out. See, we can find out if this what kit she is. Is this an ancestry kit or is it a 23andMe kit? So you see that
They used to say, so the A, let me see, that's a L. They used to have on there what kit, didn't they?
I thought they did.
Mm-hmm.
they do with the one to many, one to
Okay.
many.
Oh, okay.
But one thing that you might do, Miranda, is
Mm-hmm.
when you go in and GEDmatch and look at your kit numbers, your one to many, all of them,
Yes. Uh-huh.
this person will show up at when you get down to about 10. No, no, this person will show up. Where's yours at?
McCain,
Yeah,
Torteria.
this Quinella Martin, she'll show up at 21.
Mhm.
Okay.
See, she'll show up at 21 in your GEDmatch. And then you'll see, okay, who is she? Because she's, hey, look, she's matches, these two are the highest ones. We need to know who the C Sage is and who the Quintella Martins are. And then
Yes.
once we get those, we'll be closer to knowing, what branch. And,
Okay.
and we also have Francis Haywood. So we know it's on that side of the family. I can share that.
Wow. All right. Well, I appreciate it.
So,
I just took a couple of screenshots, so then that way I can kind of do
yeah,
some more research.
okay.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. So I know everyone has something to do. Uh, we'll pick up on the other ones later. The next, but I do want to go over one other item. Um, Ancestry Pro Tools Edition. We talked about GEDmatch. Ancestry Pro Tools Edition. Wikitree family tree genealogy records will be discussed. Would you please give us a presentation on that, Denise?
Sure. You want it now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let me
Take your time.
share one of my screens here. Let's see, where we're going.
How,
Eeny, meeny.
how are we doing? How are we doing, family?
Great, great.
Let me see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I got a lot of screens open here.
How you doing, Clarice?
I'm good. Yeah, I just like to keep going over and over and over it again. I enjoy this.
Okay. All right. So I'll just go to one of these. We were talking about California. And so I'll just go to one of these California cemeteries so you can see how Wikitree is displayed. Here's Tulare County. Did I pronounce that correctly? Allensworth Historical Cemetery.
Yes.
Yep. Now, first, I will go to so far. Of course, all of this is a work in progress. So far, we've got 4 people that are interred in that cemetery. So I'll just pick James Hackett, and then I'll go to the cemetery. Oh shoot, go to the cemetery. Sorry, find a grave, and you'll see a pop up. Now you have to have the Wikitree B extension in order for this to be displayed. So if you are a Wikitree member and you have not yet added the Wikitree B extension, you will need to add that in order to see whether or not Wikitree has a category for this cemetery. And that's basically how it looks. Once we create a category for that cemetery, there'll be a link added to find a grave. And then, of course, for the individuals on find a grave, go back, go back, go back, go back. Like for James Hackett, he's born in South Carolina, but he was buried in California. And I know that because as a source, I have his Find a Grave Memorial ID as a citation on his profile. So if I go to that and find a grave, oh, somebody didn't do this one right. I'll have to correct this one. There should be a Wikitree pop up here. Oh, there it is. I'm just impatient. So that Wikitree pop up is there as well. So if you're on a profile in Find a Grave for an African American, I must add, and they have a citation on their profile in Wikitree, you'll see this link. Okay. If you ever have any questions about that link, you need to contact Wikitree, not Find a Grave, because they don't control this. Wikitree, the Wikitree team, is the one that created the API to make this work. Okay, the program to make this work. All righty, he's a handsome gent.
Mm-hmm.
Look at
Yeah.
those
Wow,
sideburns.
boy, you guys are amazing. This is just mind blowing.
Yeah,
But
it is.
let me add this too. I know you guys find the people and everything, but the thing that blew me away when I first got my results, it was just to know who in the hell I am. You know what I'm saying? All that breakdown. 16% France, 11% Nigerian, Ivory Coast, 10% Cameroon. Now I know I cried like a baby the first time I opened this up because, people from France, you can say I'm French, Nigeria, I'm Nigerian, and so on and so forth. Us here in California, United States, we finally know who we are when they give us this breakdown. And we are some rainbow colored people, so beautiful. And I used to have hatred toward Europeans and whatever Latins and everything, but I got 8% Spain in me. I got everything I used to hate, so I hated myself. So now I find myself to love people more and not really judge on the content the color of their skin, but just the content of their character. And I yield. Black, France, African, and everything else, European power. I yield.
Cool.
Amen. All right.
Cool. Now, it just so happens I have this James Hackett in my family tree, one of my family trees. And another thing that's new that they've just started with Wikitree, you'll notice on this profile page for James, there is a field here for the Wikitree ID. And there is also symbols here for Wikitree on each of his family members. This is so brand new that what I used to do is actually copy the ID of that person and then paste it here as a web link. I don't have to do that now because I can put that link right here and it will show up on his profile and then I can click it. So if I go back to James and I click copy ID, then I go to my, you're blocking me. Hold on. This bar is blocking me. There we go. Get out of my way. Go back to James's profile and then paste that ID. And now I've got that link to Wikitree. So then if I'm on this profile and then I want to go see if there's additional information that needs to be added to Wikitree, I can just click on that, boom, and it'll take me right to his profile in Wikitree. So I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. That's about it.
Thank you. Great.
Yeah. Anything else, Jerry?
Yes, I want to share my screen. I have a couple of items I want to share with you quickly. Can you see this person? Can y'all see this person? Darling?
Yeah, he looks familiar.
That's me. Me and Darlene.
All right. Now, I was going through. I am an editor for Double R's Ancestry Kit. So I was going through seeing his matches, and she turns up. And so this is his fifth to eighth cousin, and her name is Darlene Troop. I know her. I met her. She lives in Omaha, Nebraska. She's related to not only him, uh,
You going to shared matches? Okay.
Yeah, I was looking at the shared matches too.
he's also related to who?
You.
There she is. So that's how I knew that I was connected. I was cousin with with Double R. You just saw that. I just showed him, and I just showed her. And she has in her tree 2,000 people in it. And I see what side of the family they're on. And these are the Burnells. These are the ones that Frances Haywood. She's part of this whole crew. And this is my DNA cousin, 17 across one segment. And there she is. And you just saw her with Double R. So that's where I was doing hers and come to find out I'm related to that brother. Double R. That's my cousin too.
Salute, cousin.
Double R.
And I know, and I know where. I know what branch. You know what I'm saying? And it was. I was there to give a presentation about genealogy at this San Diego State when they traveled. Clarice, I know Double R. They traveled with this reparations. They traveled when they went to all the different cities 2 years, making their presentation, going to different groups. I mean, serious presentations and decisions that were made, and he was right up front. But in a lot of these cases, as a matter of fact, they sort of intimidated me. That C-Jet, all those, they sort of intimidated me, and it takes a little bit to intimidate me. Now, come on.
Oh.
What happened is they came to San Diego, bogarting us. When it came down to speaking, they was in the front of the line. They had that line lined up for volunteers. They jumped on up there. They was up there. They bad. Now, you can't, they travel across the state. They bogart us. So we're a little more docile here in San Diego. You see that palm tree? You see the ocean? We weren't ready for that. But they came strong. But we're better because of that. But I did get in a chance to give my presentation. And what I did is when I give presentations in public, I take a kit with me. I had like about 10 of them right back here right now. I had 10 kits. So, when they're on sale, I get them. I get them. And another thing I want to share with you about the kits. If you've had kits that nobody's used, call Ancestry and tell them that they haven't been using Ancestry to send you another replacement kit.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, do that.
They will.
But anyway,
what's the expiration on those, Jerry?
On mine?
No, on the kits. Period. What's the expiration?
You just hey, they're so happy to get you in now. They're so favorable. And if you're, a member withstanding, they're not going to fuss with you.
Uh-uh.
They'll help them give them to you. You just
Yeah.
got to just tell them the kit number. Hey, they haven't used it. Could I have a replacement? And they'll get you a replacement.
Mm-hmm.
But the story is
Okay.
this. On my presentation, it's on DNA. How many of you know your 4 grandparents? So
That's
I know
hard.
them. I mean, they were deceased by the time I was born, but I know them.
that's part of my presentation, and I was letting the people know that DNA is one of the wonders of the world. We use that to connect our families. And
Wow.
I had a kid. I asked the people who were in attendance, with the press, the public. It was at San Diego State. I said, "How many of you have taken a DNA test?" Some of them raised their hand. Oh, maybe 50% of them. And then I said, "How many of you want to take a DNA test?" People raised their hand. Guess who I gave that test to? Double R.
Wow. Isn't that something?
I
Yeah.
gave it to him.
It's
Did you
crazy
have to
because I met
stand
you.
there while
He
he
was
took the
he was
test?
just there. He raised his hand, and I looked at
I
everybody,
was
and I
sitting on
just
his
said,
left side. Yeah.
and I
Okay.
gave it to him. I could have gave it to anybody, but God told me to give that test to that brother right there. And I
That
It's
was
said,
the
crazy
God,
because
ancestor.
I met you first. I met you first in the parking stall coming there, and you gave me your card.
Get out of
Uh,
here.
but the thing was that Saturday I left early because I had to go back to work. I usually speak first and go. Sunday I stayed. I stayed because I'd have to work, and you blessed me. I think I met you Saturday in the parking lot stop, but then Sunday, that's when you had that kit, and when I raised my hand to the left, I still got that picture. You gave it to me. I still got. I
So
still got
so
it.
so Jerry, did you stand there while Reggie took the test and then he gave the kit back to you so you could turn it in, or how did that work?
No, I didn't take the test till months later. He called me, and
Okay.
I didn't have take it. Then so he said, "Well, let me walk you through it." He said, "And give me information," and I did it. I took it right
Okay.
there. I sent it off. I gave him I gave him the number off the box, and gave him control of my account, and he walked me through it. And hey, I got the genealogist with me. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
said, man, he gonna help me do this because I thought it was difficult.
Yeah.
Well, it is difficult, but
Yeah.
he made it easy. So
Yeah.
I'm still learning, but it was a blessing, man, just to have a cousin as a genealogist. And this is the key piece. And let me tell you a story about when we went to after the August 31st. We went when we were shut down in Sacramento. We went to L.A. at Governor Newsom's L.A. office, and I needed a genealogist to come because we was about to give a press conference. And I called Camilla Moore, which was our Madam Chair of the Reparations Task Force, and I said we need a genealogist to speak because they want us to do another study. And I called Jerry first. I said, Jerry, I need you to come up to L.A. I think it was a day or two to give a presentation, and let them know that we don't need no more study. And he said, well, I have a person for you. And he hooked me up with, I forgot the young lady's name, but Queen
Yvette
came.
Moore. Yvette Moore.
He,
Miranda.
oh my God, Yvette Moore came up there, and when she gave her press conference, she was the head news. They had her on every news channel, all in the newspaper. She knocked it out the park. She's a reparationist too, and he sent me the best person to do that conference. Salute, cousin. That worked out perfect,
Awesome.
perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just curious because there are a few folks that I've given tests to, and they still haven't completed them, and it's been about 3, 4 years now.
Wow.
So, I mean, they've moved twice. They, probably can't even find the test now. So I was just, you know, curious about how you handled that.
Well, the way you do it is thank you, Double R. I appreciate it, cuz.
Absolutely.
And the same process. I was honored to help Clarice with hers too. Sent her a test, and we went through the same process, and that's how she got hers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clarice was on a radio show, and I gave her the information. And when she came on this genealogy, one of the studies we had, cousin Jerry blessed her with a free test, and she's very, very pleased, man. She's very, very pleased. She appreciates that, cousin. You're doing
Awesome.
great work for God, my man. Keep doing what you're doing. Salute my brainiac genealogist cousin that I never knew that I was in the room with until I spit in the tube.
Yeah. Thank you, Reggie. Yeah, Denise, just call them. They have your account, and let they have a list of your kits, the ones that
Yeah.
are active and inactive, and then you give them the numbers, and they'll either replace them or tell you what the current status is.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about doing that at our next reunion.
Uh,
Um,
okay.
and handing out a few. I mean, usually we have anywhere from 300 to 500 people at the reunion, but I would guarantee about half of those folks aren't interested in doing a DNA test because I've heard their feedback. You know, they hear the hype about, you know, the FBI doing finding people and stuff like that, and they don't want to take the test. And I'm like, this has nothing to do with that. This is,
Yeah,
you know.
there's another 500 who will take it. Go ahead, Clarice.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you have to do follow up on people. I know Jerry did the same thing with me. Matter of fact, I'm glad I gave him my information because I had to call him and ask him what was my password. And so I said, please text me my password. And, people have different fears or different hangups. It's not complicated, but it could be a little challenging. And like I said, he walked me through it and took pictures, said this and did that. And I went and got it done. I said, hey, I just sent it off. So yeah,
Okay.
follow up is so important if people they want to, but what kind of fears are lurking in the back of their minds, and there are people that are willing to do it, and then you get a lot of people have that old fear they're gonna be searching me. Well, they know you anyway. Ain't no
Yeah.
secrets here. You're
Yeah.
already on the radar, so you might as well know who you are because they know who you are. You need to know
Yeah.
for yourself. Thank you.
And I did the same thing too. I paid it forward too. I blessed. I don't know if you was on there, Sister Clarice, but Tim. I blessed Tim with one, and I blessed my wife with one. Well, I paid it forward to my. Got it for her birthday. She did it. She's real surprised. She was real surprised about the outcome and everything. But I paid it forward, Brother Jerry. So thank you for giving me that energy because. But I caught them on sale. I think it was 29 when they had that sale.
Mm-hmm.
It
$39,
might have been 29. It might have been 39.
39, and they like $100 if you don't get that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
like $100. Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for the advice. I think maybe I'll do that for the next reunion. I'll buy a few, maybe give them away, in a raffle or something like that.
Well, that's
Mother's Day and Father's Day, they do go on sale. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
or Mother's Day and Father's Day. But I think
Yeah.
periodically they'll send you an email or a text and let you know they on sale. So
Yeah.
just watch out for the emails, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
I get them every year.
again, the further the the more seasoned people that you have a DNA test, the further back you can go with your research.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Keep that in mind. When you do your research, be strategic about it. Some people you might have some for sharing them so they can find about themselves. But when you're really identifying your family history, find the oldest people in your family who will take a test
Yeah.
and make sure you test them and
Yeah.
test as many people in your family as you can. Now,
Yeah.
my family, I was involved in it. I did it, but there was some reluctance on my family side. But I used some positive persuasion.
Well,
About
I
45
only
away.
stand 5'2", so I can't
And I
persuade
got
you.
and I got all my family members, my immediate family members, they had tests.
Yeah.
See, they didn't want to hear from me. They saw the way the purpose and what my goals were, and they did it. And so, see, so that's done. And so
Yeah.
now when I look at my tree in comparisons, I can do some more comparisons because they matching them. They matching me. The more
Yeah.
people get in your immediate family tested, the better your research is going to be.
Well, my immediate family has dwindled down to a total of about 5 people. Um, so myself, my sister, my niece, and 2 cousins on my mother's side, 2 first cousins on my mother's side.
Test
So
them.
it's
Hey,
dwindling down rapidly.
you might say that, but like God has a number of people right there, right where you are. Your acres of diamonds are right where you are. Test them. Ask them for a test and share with others. Because like when you share with others, you find out you're related to them.
Mm-hmm.
See, that was America's sin. They separated my oh my goodness. What they did to us was so terrible to my ancestors that yeah, we better fight. We better do all we can to reconnect our families. That's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of
Mm-hmm.
you, like, it's priceless. They can't pay me enough through reparations to know who you are, to see your face. Because I wouldn't be talking to you if it wasn't for what?
DNA.
DNA.
Yeah.
DNA. Yes.
I yield
Dana.
back.
Dana, as Medea calls it. Dana.
I yield back until we meet again. It'll be the Lord will. It'll be February 16th.
Okay.
All righty.
Everybody
All right.
enjoy your day. The rest of the day that
Okay.
you have.
All
All right.
righty.
All right. Salute, kings and queens. Have a nice
See
one.
ya.
Likewise.
All right.
Salute.
Black power. Salute.
See you tomorrow, Reggie, hopefully.
Yep. Yep.
Have a good evening.
All
All
right.
right.
Take care.
Likewise, all.
Bye bye.
Thanks, Clarice.
Okay.
Clarice.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. You really added to this here program.
Program has added to me.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right. My pleasure.
You know what we didn't do?
What's that?
MVP.
Oh, we were all MVPs. How about that?
All right, I'll take that. Hey, much love.
Yeah. So hopefully next on the third, I'm going to come with some specific questions. I'm going to actually try to get in there and see if I can get in the wiki link and some of those other things, and I'll have a something directly to ask for myself as well.
Well, that's
But
fine.
I learned so much by listening and just hearing it over and over again.
Well,
It's
that's
actually starting
fine.
to sound a little familiar.
That's fine. And that's why I wanted to take the time and actually go through some of the steps,
Exactly.
you know,
It's worth it.
and don't leave anybody out. Get everybody, show them the connections. And finally,
Yeah.
I showed Reggie. You saw that double
You
R, the
he was
connection.
expressed. Yeah. Reggie don't express like that all the time. He's very impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so
Okay.
much. And I'll be praying for you. Pray for me.
Please.
Okay.
Likewise. Okay.
And we can have a private meeting whenever you want. Just let me know.
Okay. I
All right.
will. Yeah. I'm like I said, I just been dealing with this insurance. They got me the wrong insurance and I couldn't get to my doctor. I'm in so much pain and just transportation is all messed up. So now that I've gotten back with another same insurance but a different plan, they wanted to charge somebody on the show, one of my friends was explaining to me what was going on. And I said, you know what, I'm pretty sharp that I didn't catch what they were doing. They, who are they? But it costs a little bit more for the hospitalization and for extended care. But still, I got my right doctors and I don't want to change and do all these things. But these are changing times. Like I tell my son, we got to start saving and cutting corners and getting back to basics.
Amen. No doubt.
Because I mean, this
No doubt.
administration, nothing was ever for us, but
No.
this administration, everything is turned upside down. Some of it needs to be, but what we got to do is get in there and grab what we can get.
That's right. If it's
That's
there, let's go get it.
That's
Okay,
it.
cuz.
All
Much
right.
love.
All right. Later.
Okay. It's all good. It's all God. A great meeting. It was awesome. It's always good to share the good news with people who are interested, like-minded, and care about one another. I'm thankful to have this platform to share with others, and I just appreciate everything that they share with me. Makes me have joy. Joy. It's all good. It's all God. Peace.